Hi, this is Kerry with Learn DaVinci Resolve, and today we've got a very cool product review for you, the new DJI Osmo Action. Stay right there, we'll be right back. Well, here it is. We've been seeing rumors about it online for a while, and it is actually here, the DJI Osmo Action. It is DJI's latest camera, and it is an action camera, sports action camera. It's got some really cool features. It's waterproof down to 36 feet or 11 meters. Got 4K 60 up to 1080 240, which is kind of cool. It has a built-in image stabilization mode called Rocksteady, which works pretty darn good from the tests that we've done. It has a couple really neat things on it here. Let's look at the battery. The battery, you undo two switches here, and then the battery pops out. So yes, it is a removable battery. Don't have all the pricing on everything yet, but definitely I would pick up a couple batteries for it, even though it should last about 2 hours. It just depends on your usage. You may need some additional batteries for it. On the top, we have two switches here. The first one will power it on and can be used to turn the display off. So if you're trying to save on battery, turning the display off is definitely a good thing. And then you have your shutter button over on the other side. On the left side of it, you have the QS button, and that stands for quick switch. Now it has two different functions. One is you tap it, and then you can have all the different modes that you want available, meaning photo, video, time-lapse, slow-mo, hyperlapse, all those different modes. And you can pick and choose. You can go through a menu and decide what things you want to have pop up on that quick switch, so it's not bogged down with a bunch of things, or you can have everything on there. So I think that's kind of a neat way that they did it. The interface on it, very, very similar to the Osmo Pocket. You swipe from left to right to preview, from top to bottom to get into settings, from right to left to go into your camera settings. Very intuitive. All you have to do is play around with it for a moment, and you'll really get the hang of how the menu system works. There's no lag to the menu. The menu system works extremely well. Now, one thing I really like that they did on here is this big front lens actually unscrews. So as we start seeing all the major companies come out with ND filters and things like that, they're just going to be able to screw on without having to pop on, snap on, or some other weird hacky thing to get the filters on. You'll just be able to replace this. And because the lens is actually here and this is just a cover, this is good to keep on all the time, and it's only waterproof when this is on, because if you get this scratched up or broken, you can just replace it very easily. So that's a nice little win for it. Low light performance, it's a 1 2/3 sensor. It's not going to have a full frame performance at night. It's just not. It does work pretty good. I got a couple pictures here that I can show you that I took last night that I think turned out really well. On the angle, it's 145 degrees, so it is still pretty darn wide, which is to be expected for an action cam. That's kind of what you want in an action cam. And there's two different fields of view. They just call it, one of them de-warp, and it basically just does some correction for you in camera. So I don't think it really is two different fields of view. It's just the way they just describe it. But the de-warp looks pretty good when it's all done. In terms of other features, we have a big 2.5-inch screen on the back and a 1.5-inch screen on the front. This is a full color display on the front. So when I'll actually turn this on here. So when I'm shooting, I have the screen on the back if I want it, but if I'm vlogging or doing some selfie or something, I can hold down the QS and switch to the front screen. Oops, didn't do it long enough. There we go. Now I've got the front screen on. It's kind of hard to see looking at it from behind. So the front screen works really well. These are about, if I remember right, 700 nits. So they're not stupid bright, but they're reasonably bright. Should be easy enough to see outside. But I like this because it has my SD card capacity, my battery life, what mode I'm in, video, photo, etc., and basic settings. So right now it says I'm in 1080p, 24 frames per second. So I really like having that additional information on there. And I see the full width of the format, whatever aspect ratio I'm in. So if I have, I can change that to where it's just kind of a crop, but I prefer to see the whole thing. It also does automatic orientation. So if you're trying to do it in a vertical mode for Instagram stories, then you just flip it on its side and it's going to shoot horizontally instead of vertically. So that's kind of a neat feature. Let's see, what are some other cool things about it? Oh, on the also on the left-hand side, this is where we have the SD card slot and the USB-C slot for charging or for transferring images. So overall, pretty good performer. It compares very favorably against the competition. Is this a killer out there for the other action cameras? I don't know. I don't really use action cameras. And whether I'm going to keep one of these around or not, I'm still undecided on. I like the idea of an action camera once in a while when you just need that particular shot inside of a car, something like that. And the fact that this has this Cine-like color profile means it's going to match other things that I do. So I can use it with the Osmo Pocket, I can use it with the Mavic 2 Pro, I can use it with my Sony a7 III. I have a Cine-like profile for that. So in terms of just matching footage, the fact that it has Cine-like is really nice. Now, of course, I wish it did H.265, 10-bit D-Log, but it doesn't. So, oh well. But with Cine-like, I can easily match it to all the other cameras. Unlike, let's just say, the competition, again, ProTune is good and it has its place and it's not that hard to grade, but it's not as easy to match against other cameras without some extra work. So there's definitely that. Again, am I going to keep one? I don't know. Maybe, probably, just because the price point looks like it's going to be pretty good. The feature set's good. The color profile is there. All the different little things that I would want are in this thing. I just don't know how much I am actually going to use a small action cam. I do love the DJI Osmo Pocket because of the stabilizer in it, and I've shot a lot of stock footage with it. This, I just don't know. But my guess is I'm probably going to go ahead and get one just because why not? It's a cool camera and it matches all the rest of my stuff. Is it something I'm going to turn to every single day? No. But as a B camera or just a POV camera or something like that, why not? I mean, it is waterproof down to 36 feet. So there's that. If I ever want to go diving or scuba or snorkeling or something, I'd have a camera for that. I do have a Hero 5, I think, somewhere. But, I mean, it's getting dated and it needed to be in an enclosure and everything. It was kind of a pain to work with. This is just ready to go right out of the box. So that's kind of my little review of it. I'm not going to go deep into all the specs because the specs are on DJI's website. They're all over the place. So if you need to know the exact specs of everything, just go ahead and look them up. I just wanted to give you my impression of it, what I thought. And if you're looking for a new action cam and you already have DJI products, this is a no-brainer because of the color profile. If you have cameras that shoot Cine-like, it's kind of a no-brainer because it'll match with those easy. The Rocksteady probably isn't as good as GoPro's Hypersteady, at least not today. And this is the first version of this. And Is that stuff going to improve? I would definitely imagine it will. This is DJI's first entry into a full access electronic image stabilization. They did have basically a single access with the DJI Spark, and that's kind of where they learned and got their feet wet with it. But this, I expect that we're going to see improvements in the electronic image stabilization, as well as, overall feature set as this thing matures. So, looking for an action cam? Kind of hard not to choose the DJI Osmo Action over a GoPro Hero 7 Black, unless you really need that extra hyper smooth that I think today kind of beats out on the Osmo Action. But we're going to have to see more and more reviews, especially as new firmware come out for this thing. So thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kerry with Learn DaVinci Resolve with the DJI Osmo Pocket. There's a link in the description below as to where to get one of these here in the US from Multicopter Warehouse. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.